On bon moi, Onimusha has returned for the finale. Alright. So, a couple things here before we get started. I did go back to my previous save, as I said in the last part, and I redid the whole garden side of the game without going to the Dark Realm. I managed pretty well. And then I tried the Dark Realm again. It was much easier to get through it the second time with the upgraded armor. So, I got through it. And I got the Bishamon Ocarina. So, sorry that I couldn't show that on stream, because I wasn't sure how many tries it was going to take me to do that, but I actually got it on the first try. So, without having to use too many health items. So, I think one herb, one medicine, and a talisman, and that was it. But I was able to find another medicine and talisman while I was down there, so it balanced out. So, also I got lucky with the Isin a few times, so that definitely kind of saved my butt towards the end. So, second thing, I just want to show something, because I had to go check something here, because, you know, I have the actual game. I had to go see something. I took a picture of the manual there. You see that? So, yeah, the map is on the right analog stick in the original game. Not on the left, as it is in this game. So, I just want to be clear about that. That's not the way it was in the original game. The original game had the map button on the right analog stick button, not on the left, as it is here. So, I am legitimate in my bitching about that. And that could easily have been fixed had there been an option to reconfigure the gamepad controls in this game. If they just had that, I could have fixed that, and then I wouldn't have to bitch about that as much. But it wasn't like that in the original game, so I feel perfectly in my right to complain about that. So, anyway, so we're pretty close to the end. I predict this is only going to be about an hour-long stream here, so we're getting close. I think it's only going to be an hour here. So, all we really have left is the Demon World, and, yeah. And, yeah, I keep doing that. Yeah, I'm pretty decent on medicine. I got 2 medicines and a talisman, so that's probably, I think that's got to be good enough. And I'm getting the OP sword too. Oh, I think that's after Marcellus though, so I still gotta do a Marcellus first. Yeah, spoilers. Marcellus is returning. I still don't know what soul absorbers do. I haven't used them, but whatever. I wish there was something more I could do with collected souls at this point in the game, because there's nothing else I can do with the souls. It would be nice if I can convert the souls into restoring my health. You know, even if it costs a lot, it would be a nice option to have. You know, just something else I could do with them. Because now they're just sitting, being banked in Sam's inventory, not doing anything. I did watch a video on trying to explain the Isin system, and I still cannot get it to work consistently, so I don't know what else to say about that. I am wondering though, the original game ran at 30 FPS. This is running at 60 FPS, so this is double the frame rate. So I can't help but wonder if maybe the frame perfect timing to get the Isin to work is harder to do now because of the faster frame rate. But then again, that's just a theory on my part. I can't really prove that because I can't load up my original game and try it out there. So it's just an idea that kind of popped in my head. So anyway, we have to deal with this thing. I don't think I can equip the... Yeah, I can't equip the great bow to do anything. All I have is burst bullets, so I'm not gonna equip that. I need the, I need this. You cannot use that here. I know, I'm trying to, I want to use the thing. Can I throw the great arrow at it? That works. One time use only. Demon scientist.
虫けらめよくたどり着いたな。だがここまでだ。ここから先は現場の世界。人間のお前は通せんな。
またてめえか。突っ込んでろ。くだらねえ化け物でも作って遊んでやがれ。
なんだと？人間の分際でこのギルデンスタン様をバカにするとは。ない。ならば私の作り出した最高傑作と戦ってみろ。もうセラス。
セラス Version 2.0。
行けもうセラス。つけ上がった虫けらを叩き潰せ。
Can't block that. No! Stop that. Stop the map. Get up. Get up. Up. Bam. Ah! That's what you get. I might need to have a health item here. I think it's safe to spin one here. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad, actually. Yeah. You know, I actually liked the martial that fight. That was actually a pretty good fight. It didn't feel unfair. Alright, anyway. Time for the Uber weapon. That's behind you. I'll have the power. Ultimate sword. I don't think there's a way to enhance it, is there? No. Okay, it replaces the normal sword. Alright. Got all the maps, okay. Okay, I think I'm probably still missing a magic power jewel. Might have missed one. I also don't know if I've got all the fluorite in the game either. I suspect not. Oh yeah, just as Gibbs for demons. It's like, get out of my way. Down and down, 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 around we go. Two medicines.
Samanosuke! お兄ちゃん!
我は現場の
was
やめろ。
お姉ちゃん。
たとえこの鬼が滅びようと、お前だけは
You'll get better to kill him while you're alive, Samanosuke. So this is the Mighty Fortin Rock. Not so mighty, is he? Dang it. Okay, I took damage there. I was about to go for no damage here. Okay, eye beams. Eye laser gets me. I probably could have done that with the regular weapons. Well, it's actually quite easy for a final boss.
サマノスケ。
楓、早く。
サマノスケ。夢丸。お兄ちゃん。
早く逃げるんだ。さあ。
By the way, I'm only 18 minutes in. I'm already done. Double tapping.
行くんだ。
It would have been cool if we got to play as the powered up form. Just saying. Oh, there's Nobunaga. I forgot he was in the game.
Samanosuke の活躍で 玄馬の野望
We do
は
nothing with
一
that.
旦は打ち砕かれた。だが明くる年斎藤義達が病死し、暗愚な息子達興が国主になると、再び織田軍が美濃へ進発。ついに稲葉山城は落城。ここに斎藤家は没落したのである。この陰に玄馬の暗躍があったかどうかを知る者はない。斎藤家没落後、幸姫は斎藤家とゆかりの深かった堺の豪商今井宗久のところへ一旦は身を寄せたが、一月も経たないうちに忽然と姿を消した。宗久の計らいで南蛮船に乗り、世界へと旅立ったのである。その旅には夢丸も従っていた。左馬之助に教えられた通り、その目で世界を見るつもりだったのである。一方、楓は左馬之助を必死に探し続けたが、見つけることはできなかった。明くる年、左馬之助の叔父の明智光秀に隠密として抱えられ、数々の功績を残したが、14年後、山崎の合戦でその生涯を閉じた。そして左馬之助は玄馬を倒した後、世として行方が知れず、その生死も定かではなかった。
He appeared in the third game. That's what happens. He went to France. And he got to enjoy some modern French food. Alright, so Onimusha. Alright, so let me look at my list here real quick, character plan. Alright, let's talk about positives here first. So the basic gameplay loop, it's kind of a similar loop to what you see in the Resident Evil games. It's fine, but this is more of a hack and slash game approach, and it's weirdly satisfying. In fact, I feel like it's more fun to play than a Resident Evil game, if that makes any sense, in a way. The music. Alright, so a couple of things to the music here. I did listen to... Actually, no, I watched some videos of the original gameplay, and got to hear what the original soundtrack was. The original soundtrack was good, it was fine, but there was a problem with the composer, because apparently he misattributed the work to himself when it was made by somebody else, and this... I guess that was a legal kerfuffle involved, and they can't use the music for that anymore, which is why with this game, they sort of remade the soundtrack. And to be honest, I think the soundtrack here is pretty good. I think there's some really nice, punchy, energetic beats in this game. I think the music's one of the best parts here. I really do like the music here. So, even though I know some people may want to have the original music, but you can't because reasons. But I think what's here is still pretty darn good. I like it. What else? Japanese voiceover. I didn't really listen to the English voiceover too much, but I remember it was a little corny on the English dub, which is why I went with the Japanese dub here. It just seems more authentic this way, but from what I heard from the voice acting, it sounded pretty good, what I hear here, so... I do like the upgrades to some of the souls. It's a very RPG sort of thing, and I think it works out pretty well. It's really nicely balanced, I think. I enjoy it. It's satisfying. But like I said, I mentioned, I wish there was a little bit more you could do with the souls you accumulate. Because obviously by the end you max out and everything, and then you can't do anything else with the souls, so it'd be nice to have something else to do with it. The Kaide sections, I like the Kaide sections. They give you a nice change up to the gameplay. Sort of change up the flow a little bit. Because she has her own way of playing, feels more like survival in her mode, as opposed to Sam's mode, which is more like hack and slash and kill everything. So it's a nice change of pace. So okay, so some port specific things here. We do have the option for keyboard and mouse controls. I didn't really mess around with that here, but you have that option if you want to play it that way for some reason. I think a gamepad is the way to go, because this is an action game, but whatever. They did add the quality of life feature of being able to quick switch to weapons, which is a nice quality of life feature to have. You do have the option to still use the OG tank controls if you decide to use the D-pad instead of the left control stick, so for people who want to go the old school experience, you still have that option, so it is nice to have that there. So as a port remaster, this is probably as faithful it can be, both for better and worse. So I guess now I'll get into the cons here, the negatives. Alright. Let me just get the obvious one out of the way here, the graphics. They're okay. I'm not saying they're bad, but this was a first generation PlayStation 2 game, borderline PlayStation 1, because this I read up that this game was originally planned to be on a PlayStation 1, which is why at times it kind of feels like a PlayStation 1 game, but it was one of the very first PS2 games. So, but like I mentioned, I watched some footage of the original game. Besides the resolution upscaling here, there's actually not a whole lot of visual difference between the original game and this. I tried to look at the textures on Samanosuke, on Sam. They might look like they're touched up a little bit here, but not a whole lot was done. And the pre-rendered backgrounds look exactly the same as they were in the original game, so nothing was done there as far as I can tell. So in terms of a visual upgrade, the biggest thing you're getting here is resolution, modern resolutions, and 60 FPS. And that's kind of it. I feel like maybe more could have been done. More could have been done with that. But, oh, I got an A rank. I thought it would have done worse than that. You say Sam's special outfit will be available. Yes, I will save. Alright, okay, let me continue through the review here before I look at the extras here. I already talked about the not having an exit option visible on the menu screen. It would have been real easy to have that. I don't know why they didn't do that. Can't reconfigure the gamepad controls. That leads into probably my biggest problem with the game, as I've already mentioned, is having the map key on the left analog stick. That is just, I hate that so much, because it pops up constantly while I'm playing. And like I said, that could be easily remedied if they would at least allow the player to remap the controls on the gamepad, so you wouldn't have that problem. And as I already showed in the original game, the map was on the right stick, not the left. So I feel like somebody at Capcom kind of effed up here. Now I know some people say, "Oh, but the quick turnaround is on the right stick now." I don't care about the quick turnaround. I care about the map because the map interrupts the game. Quick turnaround is not going to interrupt the game for me. And if I want to avoid a quick turnaround, I can just use the lock-on feature to neuter that completely. So it should have been swapped the other way around. So, but like I said, the perfect fix was just allow reconfiguring, just allow a player to remap the controls. That became such an annoyance to me throughout the game that it actually earns a triple negative from me, because it would have been so easy to fix that. I'm surprised nobody in playtesting caught that. It just seems like the most obvious thing to fix, to me. Okay, but enough about that. Puzzles. For the most part, I think the puzzles in the game are okay. I think they're pretty fair. They're not super hard. And, you know, they require a little bit of intelligence to figure out. That's fine. The one exception being the water trap puzzle. That earned a triple negative because there are multiple design problems that are wrong with that. One is probably the most difficult puzzle in the game. It gets popped up on the player by surprise. You are in the middle of a timed survival sequence while it's playing, and there is no save point. Plus, there's unskippable cutscenes before it as well. It is a mountain of not the things you should be doing, all in one spot, that are just there to frustrate and waste the player's time. So, it is one of the worst puzzles in probably gaming, I would say. And if you want, and for people, do not feel bad about looking up a guide on how to get past a damn puzzle. I will not begrudge anybody who does that. Okay? You are allowed to look up the solutions to the puzzle just to get through it and avoid wasting your time. Because without that, you are probably going to spend a stupid amount of time trying to redo that whole sequence over and over and over again. And it's just going to suck. It's not going to get better, it's just going to keep sucking. So, save yourself the pain and just look it up and get through it and move on with the game. Because the rest of the game's fine. So, and another negative. Cutscenes cannot be skipped. Now, I think the pre-rendered videos, the FMVs, can be skipped, but the dialogue cutscene things, scenes in the game, those cannot be skipped, so... Again, it's one of those quality of life things that really could have been done here. They just could have added that in, and it would have been real easy to do, and they just didn't do it. I don't know why. So... yeah. The camera angles... So, I don't know if this is going to be a controversial opinion, but I don't think it works well in this game. So, this old school fixed camera angle thing with the pre-rendered backgrounds, that's an obvious carryover from Resident Evil. And in Resident Evil, it kind of worked fine there, because that was sort of more of a slower paced game, focused on survival, and you had a gun that kind of auto-aimed at the zombies or enemies around you. So you could still shoot things off screen. And the cameras were set up in a way to kind of maximize tension in that game, and it worked. It works for Resident Evil. I'm not sure if it works here, because this is an action hack-and-slash game. Your positioning and being able to see the opponent is actually much more important here than in Resident Evil, because you're doing melee fighting here, not guns. So you have to maneuver and get in close to enemies. You have to know where they are. And these fixed camera angles in these narrow angles that swap quickly between scenes and throwing your direction off while you're in the middle of combat is just kind of a hassle. And this could have been done better, in my opinion. So I don't know whether the the future games improve on this or not. I guess I'll find out when I get to Onimusha 2 if the formula is improved and worked out better there. Maybe it is, I don't know. I don't really remember much of Onimusha 2 to be honest. Enemy spawns are a little excessive in a few spots. It's not really a big deal, but there are instances where enemies just keep spawning over and over and over, and I just kind of want to move on, but I'm tempted to go fight them anyway. It's just kind of the way I am. But I think spawns could have been toned down in a few spots. I already talked about the soundtrack. You know, if you want the OG soundtrack, you're going to be disappointed it's not here. So whatever. I already talked about that. Translation issues. I'm surprised this was not fixed here, because I kind of mentioned this, I think, probably in part 2 of my stream. There's a little bit of translation confusion involving the Oni and Ogres. In this game, you know, the spirit people who give Sam the gauntlet, in this game they call themselves the Ogres. That's incorrect. They're the Oni. Because in Onimusha 2 and 3, they fixed this. Ogres are like the big dude with the giant hammer who we see in the beginning. That is an ogre. the spirit people we saw with Sam, those are the Oni. And this game kind of got things mixed up here by calling them ogres. And it was kind of a weird translation. I don't know why they didn't fix that here. It would have been, again, an easy thing to fix, just so that it stays consistent with the other games, but they didn't fix that. And, the Genma version of the game. This is not the Xbox Genma version. There was another version of this game called Genma Onimusha that came out on Xbox that had extra content. Slightly harder difficulty from what I've heard. I have seen some disappointment that this was not that version of the game. I don't know why they didn't decide to port that version of the game. I think that would have made more sense because that would have had more extra content in it and would have been like, you know, the ultimate edition of Onimusha with everything in it. But they didn't port that version. They ported the PS2 version, so I don't know why they did that. It's kind of a weird decision there. Anyway, I think some of these other negatives really aren't that big a deal. I'm not going to mention them. The Isin thing, I kind of mentioned that already. Isin, it's a cool idea. I don't think it was implemented very well in this game, because it tends to be too cryptic to be reliable. I've watched the videos, I've read guides. I still cannot understand what the timing is for it. It just seems so esoteric that I cannot rely on it in this game. I have heard that it does get easier in the future Onimusha games. I hope. Maybe. Again, like I mentioned, I do have this theory that maybe the increased frame rate has made the timing harder for it here. Maybe, but that's just my theory. I can't really prove that. But, you know, Isin's one of those things. If you can master it, it's really good. I watched videos of people who are just Isining enemies left and right real easy. I'm like, how the hell are they doing that? Because I must have spent like maybe over half an hour trying to figure out Isin on various enemies, and I cannot find a way to consistently get it to work. And eventually I just kind of gave up on it and just moved on. So I don't know what to deal with the Isin or Flash or Critical Strike, whatever you want to call it. It's just, I think they should have widened the window for it a little bit here, just to make it a little easier to pull off. And yeah, that's kind of it. The end there, just story. There's just a story thing wise I want to mention here. It still bugs me to this day that they make such a big deal about Nobunaga Oda here as doing the big bad, but he barely does anything in this game. He only appears in FMV cutscenes. You saw him show up at the end there, and it's like, aha, Sam finally finds the real bad guy, and roll credits. Like, what? That's it? So I'm kind of left wondering what all this was about. Okay, so we stopped Oda from drinking blood out of the princess's skull so he would become a demon king. But we didn't stop Nobunaga. He's still there. So it kind of feels like a weird place to end. That's all I'm saying. Now I know Nobunaga plays a bigger role in the future games, so. But again, I don't know if Capcom was really planning on making future games after this one, or because I feel like this is more. I feel like this first Onimusha game was just a test to gauge, would this be a successful idea for a series? I don't know if they planned beyond this at this point, but obviously this game did well enough to earn a sequel. So, and we're getting the port remaster sequel is coming soon this year. And yeah, probably the last thing I'm going to mention here, I feel like this barely classifies as a remaster. I don't know if this game really even counts as a remaster. It feels like a port to me. It has a few quality of life improvements just to make it work on PC, and that's kind of it. There's really not much else done to this game. But, yeah. Take a quick peek at extras here. Staff credits. Staff credits for the port. Okay, alright, so... Okay, so clearly I did not find all the fluorite in the game. The fluorite is needed to unlock the Oni Spirits extra, and which gives you alternate costumes. And there is supposed to be a harder difficulty option as well. I know I've seen pictures, there's a panda outfit you can get for Sam. I don't remember specifically what Oni Spirits is, but it is an extra game mode. I think it's like it's just side content, I think, so it's not really like main game thing or at all, but if you do find on the floor, right, you get that extra, so there you go. Sorry I can't show it to you, but I think that's probably where I'm going to end things. Final score for this game. I think leading up to this, I was thinking a 6. But I still think the base game is still pretty good. It's not great, it's just, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine for a hack and slash action game. And the port is, you know, for better or worse, is okay. Really the biggest problems are the map key and not being able to reassign gamepad buttons. So, but how much is that as a detriment to me, though? It was a pretty big detriment. Yeah, you know, I think I'm probably going to stick with the 6 on this. Because I feel like for a port remaster, they could have shown this a little more love, with a few more quality of life improvements. And I think this would have scored a little better for me. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with a 6. Yeah. It's not a bad game. It's still a good, fun experience, but I feel like this needed more work to it. It feels a little too basic for a remaster. Some people are okay with just a straight port. That's fine. But sometimes games need a little extra love in their ports, and I think this one needed more. I don't feel like they did enough here to really make this shine. So I think that's where I'm going to stick with this one here. So anyway, that's Onimusha. I didn't even make it an hour here, but yeah. So next is going to be the big one, Xenoblade X. That'll be next Thursday. I'm going to try to go out and find the game, because I wasn't able to pre-order it, so I'm going to have to go shopping on Thursday for it, for a copy. Hopefully that won't be too much of a hassle to do. And, yeah, I've been working on some ways to improve my Switch capture footage, which I'm looking forward to showing off when I get Xenoblade X, so hopefully that'll pan out and you'll be there to check that out. So, anyway, that's going to be it. Short stream, short part on YouTube, should be easy for people to watch, and, yeah. Onimusha Warlords, yeah, I mean, I'll still recommend it to people, if you want to check it out, but like I said, it's, keep your expectations in check, you know, that's all. Anyway, have a good night, and I will catch you next time. Next week, yeah, I'll probably I'm just gonna take a break. I'm not gonna start another game right away, so... Like I said, Xenoblade next, but that's going to be Thursday, which is like 6 days away now. So I'm just going to relax for the next few days. So anyway, sayonara.